Hi everyone, and welcome back to our webinar series. Very happy to host the session today. This time it's me. My name is Matthias. I'm Chief Growth Officer of bookingkit and excited to host the session today, which is about a topic which is both very important and also time critical because our industry is opening again, slowly but surely, but finally it's opening again. We can run our businesses again. So that's what we're going to cover today. I'm very happy to see a good amount of attendees today in the webinar, and also a few familiar faces or a few familiar names. So hope everyone is safe and sound. And maybe to be interactive from the beginning on, I know there are people from many different countries, many different backgrounds. To make it interactive, on the right side of the tool, there is a chat function. Please use it. Say hi. Feel free to say hi. Share a bit which country you're from, just to make sure that everyone has a warm start to the conversation. All right. So again, what we're going to cover today is the reopening and which strategies to apply in that case. So yes, of course, the opening, as it's currently in the next couple of weeks happening, is not. It does have some limitations that we have to be aware of. Also, it's not opening for all verticals yet, but still, at least in most European countries, where we are very much focused on as bookingkit, there are museums, zoos, other attractions, and also other operators able to run their businesses again. So what we want to do today is to cover what that actually means, what the implications are, how you can make sure that the opening is safe for your guests, also that you're on the safe side from a like governmental standpoint, and of course we also want to cover, hey, how can you attract customers in this very special time? And I'm very excited that there's not only me who is standing here today, but I'm also joined by two great experts from our dear partner GetYourGuide. We have Eulalie and Gloria also with us, both working in different fields at GetYourGuide. And maybe starting with Eulalie, give a brief intro.
Yeah, sure. Hi, everybody. So I'm Connectivity Partner Business Manager at GetYourGuide. So I work for the connectivity team, building APIs between your systems and our system.
Hi, Matthias, and hi, everybody out there. Super excited to be here. My name is Gloria. I'm Global Account Manager at GetYourGuide. So I'm mainly managing and consulting with our global supplier base, and I work across our 17 global offices to ensure regional supplier communication. And I'm happy to bring in some insights and business perspective from GetYourGuide side as a global player to this help talk. So happy to be here.
Thank you very much, and very glad to have you with us today. All right. So I already covered it, what we're going to tackle today. One thing we also, like when we look at our industry, China is obviously a few weeks ahead of us in the pandemic development, I would say. And a few weeks ago, maybe as an opener to today, they were opening up again, and people were getting excited. So what happened like 2 weeks ago was that in the Yellow Mountain National Park, people were getting up very early, getting up to be there and stand in the queue from 5 a.m. on. However, the result was that a lot of press around photos like this, and also the park had to close 2 hours after opening. Again, that's what we have to prevent. So we have to discuss today which measures should you take to avoid that. My main goal of today is that you get 3 very practical takeaways for you and your business that you can implement to make sure you will have a great restart for your business. A few housekeeping items. I would say what we're going to do today is a 45-minute session. Eulalie, Gloria, and me will share a lot of knowledge from global best practices and topics which we see as important to take care of now in the preparation of your reopening. What we won't cover today is we won't cover technical topics. So I know that like a good amount, like half of the attendees today is an existing BookingKit client. We won't cover, however, how to set like things up specifically in your account. Our service team is very happy to take care of that. Today it's more about the big picture to show you, okay, that's all the topics to consider. That's how BookingKit, and also that's how GetYourGuide can support you in that process. What's very important, again, I had it at the very beginning, and we want to make the session interactive. Yeah, so we are very happy to get questions, to get your input. Again, on the right side, there is the chat function. So throughout the session, please bring up your questions. Also bring up your comments if you agree to something, if you don't agree to something, if you want something to add, and please use it. The more interactive the session is, the more value also it will create for everyone who is now with us today. And maybe to start in that very spirit, we are very interested in who is actually with us today. So I guess there's all kinds of businesses which are represented here. And Christian, our great moderator, will now send a poll that actually also asks you about which kind of business are you operating, or which kind of business are you working in? Are you working in an attraction, so in a zoo, a museum? Are you a tour operator? Do you run an outdoor business, an indoor activities business? Please just use the poll and give us some insight so that we can also like streamline the webinar a bit to the needs and the interest fields which you have. All right, so it's currently a heads up between attractions and tours. Tours are in the lead at the very moment. All right, now a bit more. All right, okay, I think that already gives us a kind of good indication that like the majority or the biggest business category represented here is actually tours. However, second one seems to be attraction businesses. Thank you very much. All right, so now let's dive right into the content of today's session. Reopening attractions is the first insight I would like to share, because on that these were the first businesses which were able to open again, and we have already a few weeks ago we talked to many experts and veterans in the industry. We also have quite good connections to Asia, although we are not focused in our business on Asian operators. We have a lot of connections to OTAs there, and also we like our head of business development has been working there for many years, and so we have some insights gathered that we would like to share, which are of course interesting and important for attractions, but also for other kind of businesses. So, and a few weeks ago, Singapore actually was one of the forerunners to already set some standards how to open your venue again, and what they have done is one topic that is very crucial and also will be crucial for everyone now who is reopening again. Whatever business you are running, is to set up some crowd control measures, so to make sure that capacity is limited if you're running an attraction or some kind of indoor or also outdoor venue. Typically, it's important to set some like limitations of daily visitors which you can cover, but also like visitors who can be in your venue during a given point of time. That will also, of course, be important for all kinds of tour operators to make sure that there is enough space for everyone, that you can keep the distance of 1 meter, 1.50 meters, depending on where you are and which kind of business you are running. That's the recommendations. So that's what Singapore has implemented very early on. All kinds of crowd control measures and physical distancing measures to make sure that is possible. They have also set up temperature checks so that you have to check your temperature, and if you have some kind of light fever, you're not allowed to enter, because that's a sign you might be infected. The temperature checks might not be necessary in the country you're operating in, at least in European countries, to my knowledge, and that's not a must-have, at least. and also has some I think reservations against it. However, what is very important, what also all kinds of Asian attractions have set up very early, is that you can't buy tickets offline. You should not stand in queues. You should not. You have to plan the capacity. So because of that, all of these attractions have very early on shifted to online ticketing, and not only online ticketing, but also selling time slot tickets. So you purchase a ticket online before you enter the venue, or obviously also before you participate at a tour. You choose your time frame when you can attend. There's all kinds of time frames. Some have set up like half a day. Some have set up a daily and again an hourly time frame. That depends a lot on the business you are running, but some kind of time slots tickets will probably make sense for you to manage the capacity. What you shouldn't forget, that's what we actually also came across a lot of times during the past couple of days, is everyone is thinking about how can I sell tickets, like new tickets. But what you shouldn't forget, there are so many tickets which are floating around, tickets which we already purchased from you directly, offline, online, from like your B2B channels. All kinds of tickets are floating around. Your pass holders who have like a yearly pass. And also there might be customer groups which are allowed to enter for free. All of them, they're also covered by that. So all of them should also get a time slot ticket, meaning they should get one if they don't have one yet. In the case of customer groups which can enter for free, just a free ticket, but they have to get it. In the other case, you should check which measures can you set up that they can switch their existing tickets to time slot tickets. BookingKit can also facilitate that, but in general, that's something to take care of. And obviously, there's all kinds of other topics to keep in mind when reopening. There's a lot of equipment to have on site, or to consider at least on site. That is true for attractions. That is true for tour operators. So what about masks? Typically, employees should wear masks, at least also to protect the guests. However, what measures do you set up to also protect your employees? Should there be some glass in between employees and the visitors? Billboards to make sure that everyone understands what the rules are, how to behave in your venue. Sanitizers, everything that has to be taken care of, and like in more like towards our focus, or also the GetYourGuide focus. You don't want to have a situation where there are people getting into your venue, showing you their tickets, and you can't really verify without checking them extensively whether they are allowed to enter. You have to make sure that this whole process is going very quickly, very smoothly. So also some fast entry scanning devices, maybe you already have some. These are also very recommendable, I would say, during the upcoming weeks and months. In the session, however, we don't want to focus too much on the equipment side, BookingKit and also GetYourGuide. We're more on the technical side of things. And so this is mostly our focus of what we would discuss here today. All right, and that was already my short overview from our perspective, which topics to take into account. And now over to Gloria, I think, starting to share a bit from GetYourGuide perspective, what else to consider, what does GetYourGuide.
Thanks, Matthias. Thanks for the great intro in terms of reopening for attractions. So Eulalie and myself are here today to give you some more insights generally on the business perspective and current crisis time from GetYourGuide side, and also obviously what can be done towards recovery. So first of all, as I assume some of you might be working with us already, some might not, I brought a little overview just for everybody to kind of, get an eye on where we stand right now at GetYourGuide. So currently we have 60,000 experiences online across 150 countries. Our main market is Europe, followed by the US. We have a team of 650 plus employees across 17 global offices. Our headquarters is in Berlin. Our engineering headquarters is in Zurich. And with having the chance to really have 17 offices worldwide, we really see this as our big focus and key to success, to really work closely with our suppliers in their languages and in their markets. So we currently sold 50 million plus tickets worldwide, and our homepage is supported in 18 different languages. But let's have a look, where do we actually stand right now? So as we know, the crisis is external. It is hard for us to understand and brings a lot of uncertainty for suppliers, but also for customers, obviously. So however, there are some facts which we learned over the last weeks, while obviously monitoring the market very closely, which we will continue doing. So some things we learned so far. So obviously the market is on standstill right now due to closures and restrictions. However, we do see a lot of light at the end of the tunnel, and especially a lot more nowadays compared to 6 weeks ago. So as we know, there's a lot of reopenings in Asia. Business is going back to kind of a normal phase. Also, some countries here in Europe are taking some steps toward easing their lockdowns. So best positions here are, for example, Germany, also Switzerland, as they're reopening arts and recreation venues as we speak. As Matthias said, zoos and lots of attractions are opening right now. Overall, obviously, the main focus will be on domestic markets, as we've seen in many research studies, and as we know by really working closely with our customers and trying to understand our customers in the phase right now. So really focus on the domestic market, where we do see first signs of recovery. Overall, there is still a global hesitation on travel, and this hesitation will last for a long time. Customers putting plans on hold, and this has been ongoing since the crisis and will be something we will see towards the end of the year. What we also do know is that flexibility is the main key to success. Nowadays, from every conversation we have with our customers, flexibility is 100% appreciated. Customers moving forward when they book will look at cancellation policy from the beginning, which has not happened in the past as intensely. So overall for 2020, we predict a partial recovery of, let's say, 10 to 30%. We do expect further recovery in 2021. However, if we can see 100% recovery in 2021 is still questionable, and obviously, will be becoming more clearer the more we monitor the market. What we do know is that people are more excited to explore and start booking when possible, especially after the long phase of lockdown. Interesting, I just actually texted with my friend last night who was supposed to meet me on Friday, and she texted me very excited that she's going to the zoo on Friday for the first time, and she's been living in Berlin for 10 years at this point. So I think this is a really good example of how people are getting excited to book domestically, and also book things they have not done or experiences they have not done before, just because the situation just screams for reinventing yourself and the industry. So what are first steps GetYourGuide has taken? So obviously, really looking at what has happened over the last weeks, we analyzed that there's a lot of things we can do. And first of all, we implemented a few initiatives for our customers. So first of all, we implemented, next slide. For our customers. So we implemented a customer-friendly cancellation policy, which means all customers have the chance to cancel and receive the money within 24 hours on start of their tours. And this counts for all tours without any exceptions, also for non-canceled trips we had so far on our homepage. We also encourage our customers to rebook tours with an incentive of a 10% voucher to really obviously keep customers engaged, and with that initiative also help our suppliers to keep bookings still coming in and the times of still stand. We also increased our customer service capacity. Obviously, during the crisis, there was a high demand, and it needed to be addressed. We also launched a new brand campaign, which was really exciting, called The World at Home. It launched on March 24th. Some of you might have seen it. If not, check out our website to see what else already happened in the past, and also what kind of campaigns will be coming moving forward. We posted it on all social media channels and always announce and promote new activities. It's supported in English, German, and Italian, and available for our customers, also suppliers, and it's 100% for free. Those campaigns include virtual tours of museums and attractions, virtual experience like cooking classes, but also virtual class trips for kids staying at home. And we also keep encouraging our suppliers, if they have new ideas, to present them to us. And we always kind of pick and choose what we think is most interesting, has the most demand for our customers right now. We've also taken some steps for our suppliers to support in those challenging times. So we started sending updates and news from Corona, very from the beginning of March, trying to help educate and obviously share insights. We hosted a number of webinars, which we're still doing, which will be ongoing over the next weeks. We implemented a bi-monthly payment system for our suppliers, which just launched last week, and all of our suppliers can apply for this on our supplier portal website as well. We also created a supplier blog where you can find all necessary information on webinars, government support, the bi-monthly payment, and also general updates and insights. We also continue work on our attraction blog, which is catered mostly specifically to attractions, where we show case studies, best case examples, and where we ongoingly have new articles and reports listed. So what does travel mail look like after COVID-19? Obviously, we can never know 100% for sure how it's going to change. However, based on current research and staying really close with our customers and also suppliers and obviously with the government, there are some predictions we can make. So first of all, we do think leisure travel will be mostly domestic and local for the next 12 to 18 months. But obviously, as we constantly monitoring the markets, those numbers or those months can change. And obviously, we hope for faster recovery as we speak. We do assume that safe corridors might open, obviously with limitations, but those might open the fastest. So a safe corridor example would be between Germany, Switzerland, and Austria, where obviously those will be open, and then domestic travel can be extended to those safe corridors. And then obviously customers in general or travelers have to be prepared for safety requirement, temperature check, everything what we know of currently. We do think there might be stronger separation between wealthy and developing country. This might especially apply for countries in Asia, where wealthier countries might open up sooner, while less developed countries with the virus might have a larger impact, especially on the health system, which means obviously opening and travel and tourism might be in a way slower recovery mode. Overall, air travel accommodations will operate significantly below capacity, we think, obviously right now, 2020, but also in 2021. There won't be 100% recovery in our estimations. So what do we think how suppliers need to adapt to new market trends? Obviously, there are a lot of things suppliers can do right now in lots of different verticals and perspectives. But we think most importantly, it is for you all to stay informed of changes and act on it immediately. So I can really suggest for nobody to really wait until business will be back to normal, because now is the time to change, because we won't be going back to a new normal. It would be just a new norm. So it's really important to reinvent your business and really, go with the demand of the customers. So good example is here what obviously happened over the last years when Uber took over the industry and kind of, really brought the taxi industry out of business. This was nothing really Uber was in charge of, pushing all the taxi industry out of business. This was more like the industry wasn't ready to change, and the change from the customer is just there, and the demand is there. So the industry just has to change. Another example would be Netflix bringing all the DVD stores out of business. I don't think this was really the fault of Netflix. It was really the demand was there from customers, so the industry just had to adapt to it, and Netflix just came in and adapted with a new business model. And this is kind of a similar time where the whole tourism activities industry just has to really follow the demand of the customers and has to change and adapt. So obviously, there are a lot of verticals, as I said. So customers or suppliers have to focus on limited capacity, which means obviously redesign the business to operate under limited capacity, which means crowd control, small groups, private tours will be a big key. Suppliers really, as I said before, should be really focusing on being flexible in terms of cancellation policy, being flexible and really operating with last minute bookings, which means extending the availability. And then, as you all know, we all need to adapt to new hygiene norms, especially when working with bigger groups or even with smaller groups, which is everything from masks, visible cleaning and safety measures. Touchless products are going to be very important. Also, obviously, the tech optimization, which now is a very good time to really work on this, right? Where there's a bit of a down phase, for example, digital ticketing, entrancing, queue management, and obviously, work on reservation systems. And this is a good handover to my colleague Eulalie, who is expert in connectivity and can give you some more insights.
Details on connectivity at GetYourGuide. So yeah, the number of suppliers that are connected and the part of our inventory that is connected keeps growing. So this is not something that stops with the crisis. And we can see also that a lot of our partners have more time to work on the foundation and they want to build APIs. So we see even more suppliers that are reaching out to us and partners that are reaching out to us to connect. In order to be ready when the business will pick up again. So yeah, we've shifted a bit our focus because the plan before the crisis was really to focus hardly on consolidating the connections that we already have more than building new connections. And now we're shifting more into building more connections because the business is going to pick up again. This we're sure. We're not 100% sure when, but customers are going to book again. And we want to really give them the best experience they could have. And also like safety with cancellations, as Gloria was mentioning. So we are definitely working on building more and more connections right now. And we have way more tech capacity also to build those connections and to make sure that we enable our suppliers to provide the best experience as possible for our customers. Now we can talk about what connectivity has an impact on, like how can connectivity help providing more safety to our customers and also better customer experience overall. So the first bucket is about availabilities, right? So thanks to connectivity and having an API, you can, of course, have more last-minute availabilities because it's like way easier for you to log in your availabilities and to update your availabilities on all the platforms you're working with. So this is one point. Also, real-time availability. So this is something that we worked on a lot because we really want our customers to have accurate availabilities. So now we developed a new endpoint that we call push availabilities. I'm not gonna go into details, but it basically enables us to have like real-time availability all the time. Then there is the cancellation bucket. So our guess is that customers will be kind of afraid to book, even though they do want to book, they will be a bit more afraid than before the crisis because of the circumstances. So we are working very hard on having the cancellation policy as good as we can for all the products that we have, but also technically to be able to support it. And to enable our customers to be able to cancel. And then the last and very important one is time slots. So we know that after the crisis and even now the big topic for attractions or even any partners will be crowd management because we don't want the museums to be packed with customers. So time slots are going to be key. So right now we're working on developing features that will help our suppliers dealing with that and managing their availabilities using the time slots. So this is part of the main things that we work on. There is also the Integrator Portal. So this we focus a lot on that also this quarter, and we will continue next quarter. So this portal is a portal that will enable any of our suppliers or connectors that will want to connect to GetYourGuide in a self-service way. So you won't have to contact GetYourGuide to build the API. Basically, you just need to connect to this integrator portal, and then you will have documentation, credentials, everything. So this is also something big that I think will change how we work with our partners massively. And of course, we keep strengthening our partnerships with bookingkit and with all the SRSs we work with.
All right, thank you very much for sharing. I know that a few people have just joined within the last couple of minutes. So it's GetYourGuide, with me here today, and we are sharing strategies on how to reopen. I guess the topic of time slots that you just mentioned, like for everyone watching, if you have one takeaway for today, time slots. Time slots will help you to manage your capacity in your attraction or for whatever business you are running. And maybe a couple of follow-up questions, and one. So I'm happy to see already some questions in the chat, and one question that I just saw would be directed at Gloria, which is a follow-up question from Nelly, asking. So Gloria, you elaborated on the bi-monthly payment option that GetYourGuide has set up. The question here is just to reassure: does it mean every second month or twice a month?
Hi, Nelly. Thanks for asking. So bi-monthly means you're able as a supplier to be paid every 2 weeks. So yeah, twice per month. If you want to find further information on this, visit our supplier portal. There's guidelines really and instructions how to apply for those. It should be really straightforward, and yeah, or otherwise also ask questions in our supplier chat portal. So you'll be happy to help you with further questions on this.
Thank you very much, and I can assure you that bi-monthly also raised some questions in my past with some attendees, so totally get the question. If you have any other questions, please shoot them in the chat, again on the right side of the webinar tool. Maybe a couple of follow-up questions also towards Gloria. You shared a bit on, and that was very interesting, like which measures operators can take now or should take now in the to be able to reopen again. Maybe do you have one or two concrete best practices that you would like to share that you have seen bigger operators implementing for their business?
Yeah, thanks, Matthias, for the questions. Yeah, so our suppliers we've been seeing doing a lot of measures lately. Obviously, all the new trends, we like slowly seeing happening on the market and the updates, and it's very important. So, just as an advice, it is very important to act fast. I think I mentioned that before, and I think some of the updates we've seen, well, as we know. The trends or the trend will be towards domestic market. A good example here is to really expand availability, because domestic customers, they do want to be available. They do want to see the full availability in certain cities in their country. Also, adjust your content in local languages. You would be surprised, but some suppliers are really targeting customers, obviously international customers. So it's really important to really look, especially at the language function, to really be ready for the domestic and local customers you're having. What we've also been seeing, some suppliers changing to more digital, obviously, products. So there's no tangible like touch points anymore. So for example, in-app guides, so for example, the specific local walking tour you see now might have, is changing to actually also offering products with an in-app guide where people really don't follow the personal guide anymore, but where you follow an audio guide. Then contactless payment, we've seen a lot of suppliers doing lately, and obviously, as Eulalie said, a lot of suppliers right now are working on really increasing or improving their API connection and their all the touch points which come with that.
I guess many operators also currently want to explore, okay, I'm currently not working with GetYourGuide yet. How can I get in touch with you? How can I get in business with you? Are there, maybe that's my question, are there specific the kind of operators you're currently interested in? And what is the process if I, as an operator, want to work with GetYourGuide?
Mm-hmm. Yes, thanks for the question, Matthias. So first of all, we are welcoming all kind of operators in every vertical there is. We already have a big, obviously, a lot of different categories, addressing a lot of different needs and interests of our customers. So for example, we really obviously have a big focus on attractions and museum because the demand is very high. We offer guided walking tours, hop on off buses, city cruises, transfer, But also moving forward, obviously, there will be new verticals coming off from this crisis. So what we see lately, as I just mentioned, there might be more an interest of actually audio guides rather than really having an in-person guide. There might be more interested for people to, for example, book private transfers, because right now with this current safety measurements, people might not be interested in public transportation anymore. So overall, there are a lot of verticals, and those might also change. And we at GetYourGuide, obviously, we are a growing and also global company, and we have a really big customer base. So we do want to make sure we fulfill the needs and demands of every customer we have worldwide. So every supplier and every vertical is really highly appreciated and is interesting for us to explore. In terms of getting in contact, so we do have a portal on our website, supplier portal, where you can actually apply to become a supplier with us, and then it will be redirected to a specific region or to a specific account manager who is actually in charge. So this would be the first step. Obviously, another step would be to get right in touch with me or one of my colleagues. Just add us on LinkedIn and start a conversation. So we're always happy to explore and see how we can work together and really help you to promote your business on our side.
We have a question that came up from Lobo Chang from Seoul. Greetings to Seoul. Spent a few good months, a few weeks, a few years ago in that city, which is directed towards Eulalie, I guess, asking what is the difference between last-minute availability and real-time availability?
So I would say these are in the same bucket for sure. But last minute availability, I would say, is more like the availabilities for the customers that decide to book like an hour before the tour or maybe 30 minutes before the tour. And I think we'll see that growing more and more because people will be less confident in booking way in advance because of the circumstances. So I guess they will just book last minute depending on how the whole situation is going. And then real-time availability, it also means that if a customer wants to book for a date, it's in 6 months, for example, he will have accurate availability. He will know exactly how many spots are available anytime. So it could be like 30 minutes before the tour or maybe 6 months before the tour, depending on when the customer wants to book.
Right. So basically, if you are a BookingKit client and you have all of your availability in BookingKit, which is connected to GetYourGuide, you make sure that GetYourGuide always has the real-time availability. That's that. And last-minute availability. And thanks for focusing on that, Eulalie. I think that's a very important topic. So again, today, I want to make sure that you get practical takeaways for your business. I guess that's actually one. Because especially when it's about local and domestic tourists, they tend to be a bit more spontaneous, even more than normal tourists. So in that case, highly important to have this cut-off time, how it's also called, very low, so that people can book spontaneously and join your tour or visit your attraction or your venue. There was a question a few minutes ago, actually. Just wait a second, I want to bring it up, which was also a bit of a concern from a German operator, I guess, from Sylvia, telling she can't imagine that there are so many people who actually want to take tours at the moment after there's such a big fear about the virus in Germany, but also I would say in many other countries, most other countries, due to newspapers, social networks, and so on. And I can very much relate to that concern. We do see, however, that the zoos, for example, which have opened up again in Germany specifically yesterday, that actually the visitor numbers they have are actually pretty good. So yesterday was not like a zoo weather in Germany. However, in zoos we are working with, there was a very good number of visitors. So I was a bit positively surprised, I would say. So I would say there's data proof, and also my view would be, that people have been locked into their homes. They want to experience something again. So in general, I would say demand is there. The question is, how can you seize it? I think we have covered a couple of topics. So also last minute availability, if you're running a sightseeing business, especially your sightseeing tour, is one thing you should definitely consider. Apart from that, the concern is there. Yeah? So people are concerned about how safe they will be doing, joining your experience. So your job is to make sure that they know that they are safe. So if you want to get bookings via your website, for example, put it very centrally on your website. Hey, we are reopening again. We have you covered. We have taken these and these safety measures. This will significantly improve conversion on your website. So as you know, BookingKit is always taking care of getting bookings as much as you can on your own website, but also on OTAs. I think the OTAs that we have covered for your website make it a central topic, because everyone visiting your website, everyone considering joining your tour, visiting your venue, wants to see some information that to make sure they are covered, but also to see how should they actually prepare for the tour. So that should definitely be part of how you communicate in the next couple of weeks and months. And what I could also suggest is that we at BookingKit, what we want to foster is an exchange between operators. Yeah, an exchange between operators on all kinds of levels, nationally, but also globally. So we have set up Facebook communities. Actually, we have one German-speaking Facebook community. Feel free to just join it and exchange with other tour operators what they are doing, like in other cities who are not at all competing with you, what they are doing to still attract customers in that very special time. For everyone who is from France or Italy and so on, I've seen many countries covered here. And there's also an English-speaking group. Also feel free to join that to exchange on that level. Maybe one more question targeted towards Eulalie, as we have covered the topic of last-minute availability, cutoff times. Yeah. Is there any specific cutoff time you would recommend? So again, cutoff time is the time that people can book 1 hour or 24 hours in advance to visiting your venue, in advance to joining your tour. And from your perspective at GetYourGuide, what is a good cutoff time, especially now in these times when we are talking about targeting local and domestic customers?
I guess we're aiming at 0 cutoff, right? Because we see that our customers, most of them, when they see an attraction, for example, you see the TV tower and you're like, oh, I could go, and you book on your phone, because also we work a lot on our app, and customers are really using the app a lot. So yeah, of course, 0 cutoff time is the best. I think the maximum you can have on GetYourGuide is 10 hours, and we see some tour suppliers and day trips suppliers that are having like this kind of cutoff, also because there are some preparations like the vans, or if it includes also food, there is some preparation to do. But basically for the attractions, museums and zoos or anything, the 0 cutoff is something that we need to go for, because customers just want to book very last minute. So yeah.
All right, thank you. Christian is just also posting the Facebook communities in here, so feel free to explore them, and happy if you join them, obviously. There's one question that just came up from René, which is, thanks for the insights. You're very welcome. And the question is if we have experience with suppliers using digital guided tours as a replacement for on-site tours, and also if customers are willing to pay for it. Maybe from my perspective first, but I guess also GetYourGuide wants to share a bit on that, as they do have experience with that, definitely. And from my point of view, or from our point of view, we do have, we have 6,000 operators. A few of them, or a couple hundreds of them, are also offering some kind of digital products. And for some verticals, for some businesses, this is working quite nicely. So there are some digital escape rooms, for example, they are offering that's actually having quite good traction, and also people are willing to pay something for this experience. With tours, the way we see it is more, to be honest, of a retention strategy. So if you want to keep your customer base engaged with you, it's a good method to give them content, to keep this, make them stick to your business, so that when you are opening again, they have like a positive thing they combine with you. However, we are not seeing as much of a willingness to pay, to be honest, definitely way less. And also consider, if you are running digital tours, you are actually competing with YouTube and Netflix. And there are so many tours also on these platforms. So it's possible to make the best tour and also to promote them. I would highly recommend then to promote them to your existing customer base, and especially now in these times to really like nurture your existing customer base. But you're competing with all of these, like for free platforms. That's a tough game. So we recommend, if you have a big customer base, you should consider doing it, especially to retain your customer base. If you're thinking about replacing your existing business with it, I think it's very tough. And we are actually very much at the moment focusing on how can you make sure for the reopening of your normal business. And we are less focused, to be honest, on in the time in between, because it's only a couple of weeks until like at least domestic travel comes back. How you can use these times. So we are really very much focused on reopening. But maybe Gloria, maybe to share what's your point of view.
Yes, thanks, Matthias, and thanks, Renee, for the question. So I can confirm with or agree with many things you said, Matthias. I mean, first of all, obviously we do have experience. As I said, we launched our World at Home campaign, which was super successful. So obviously we launched this, as Matthias said, to really keep our customer base engaged, but for the second reason, to also obviously help our suppliers, because all the suppliers obviously who showed one of the virtual experiences, got a lot of promotion, and we really want to, in this way kind of help the suppliers to really put their name out there. So in this case, I think it was very successful with a lot of customers joining, a lot of suppliers already showed their virtual experiences. There are a lot more to come over the next weeks, so make sure to follow some on our platform. Overall, as Matthias said, it is a great way to engage people, but it will never be a replacement for the tours and activity industry or for the sector as a whole. So we do think it's a great tool right now to work on those, but overall, it shouldn't be the focus right now to really, come out of this with a new business pillar, almost to create those virtual experiences. And as Matthias said, there's a lot of competition out there, and I think what we're really good in is, as a supplier, to really focus on what you have, the real life experience with customers, and this, will be coming back. And right now, what you should really focus on is on reinventing how you will really provide your product to customers moving forward, with all the changes the industry is giving, rather than completely inventing something new.
If, however, you want to set up digital tours, just to mention it, we also have a partnership with a company that is enabling that from a technical side. So get in touch with us. We can give like a discount on them. So if you want to do it, happy to get you in touch with that company. In general, there was also now a question of how can I actually get in touch with you guys? So that's a good question. BookingKit help you, maybe that first. We have, and only like 3 more minutes, we have time. Basically, we have a guarantee. If you are not ready for the reopening again, we make you ready within like a couple of days, or within 10 days from start to sale. That's our promise that we have set up. So get in touch with us to learn more how we can make sure you can reopen in the right way again, with time tickets and so on. Everything that many of you maybe don't have at the moment. So topics covered are the entry management, time slots ticket. We can give you some practical tips on crowd distancing, also like hand sanitizers, masks, and so on. If you want to, we also have some contacts we can connect you with. So in any way, if you are struggling with your reopening, that's my main message. If you're struggling, we've got your back. Just let us know. Yeah, if you're an attraction, maybe to add on that, like, okay, now I can sell time slots tickets, but however, how can they be redeemed on site? How can they be validated? There's a couple of ways. BookingKit has an app on Android and iOS basis, but also we're offering handheld devices, which are there for high frequency scanning. So if you're interested in that, also get in touch. We're also connected to many, many major entry management systems, Skidata, Access, Corona, Gantner, and so on. We're connected to all of these systems. So yeah, let's just let us know, and then we can explore how we can help you. So again, how can I get in touch with you guys was the question. So you can get in touch with me. So just ping me, send me an email. Wirz@bookingkit.net. You can also, if you're an existing BookingKit client and you would like to understand how exactly do I set something up, or you would get some one-on-one consulting, basically just approach our service. They're very happy to help. And you can also visit this landing page we have set up, so bookingkit.net/reopen, and you can find some more information. So whatever you need, if you want to get the slides we just presented, if you want to connect with us in any way, just approach us here. That's the best way to do it. If you want to connect to Eulalie or Gloria, maybe Christian, can you jump back to the slide where our names are presented? Thank you. We're just jumping to the slide where you can see the names again. So yeah, here they are. So again, that's us, Matthias from BookingKit, Gloria, and Eulalie from GetYourGuide. Was a pleasure to have you here with us. Feel free to get in touch, and special thanks to Gloria and Eulalie. Was a pleasure as always. Everyone, take care, stay healthy, and have a great reopening of your business again, hopefully very, very soon.
Thank you.
Thanks, Matthias. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Take care. Ciao.